Alrighty, I'm back. I played an OTB game this afternoon. It was a pretty interesting game, so we're gonna look over it on stream. I haven't looked with the engine yet, so I don't really know. Like, I don't know what happened in the game. Like, I know the result of the game. That's all I know. But I'm interested to review it because there were a lot of tough positions. Maybe you guys can help me figure it out. And, you know, we'll look at the engine at the end, but I guess we'll withhold the engine until the end. Okay, so I guess we'll wait and allow people to join. How's it going, bouncing? So we'll do, like, we'll do some puzzle storms. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Does this scene work? Puzzle Racer? Yeah, I was watching Lenny's stream. So here's what's funny. When the last break happened, I was like pretty much ready to start streaming then. So, and I was planning to just stream because who knows how long that's gonna last. So I was like, okay, well the last break just started, or not the last break, but a break just started. And I was like, well, I could just go look on ACR. Like I could, like you can just watch the tournament on ACR live. You just don't get to see the whole cards. So I went on ACR to see, like, you know, what was going on. And it said the tournament was over. So I knew that the tournament, I knew it was going to end like as soon as it came back, as soon as they came back from break. So I was really hoping that, like him and the other short stack, like I was hoping it was just a three-way all in, and that the big stack eliminated both of them, because then he would have tied for second instead of getting third. So he would have won like 60k more, I think, if that had happened, something like that. But no, he got unlucky at the end there. I mean, he kind of got doubly unlucky because the other short stack got all in with a dominated hand, but hit the, you know, his one live card, and then when Lenny was all in, he was dominating. He dominated the big stack's hand, but the big stack also hit his one live card, and he had a flush draw, which killed one of his outs. So that was kind of unlucky at the end, but like, you can't really be too upset about that kind of stuff. The extra 120k came down to 85.15. Wait, I don't know what you mean. Do you mean the battle for first or the battle for second or what? But yeah, I didn't get to watch all day because I was playing this OTB game. But pretty good run. The hand of the other short stack was dominated. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Well, that's the purpose of the stream, Rishidan. I can't reveal that yet. Yeah, no need to apologize. But yeah, a little unfortunate at the end for Lenny, but it's hard to feel too bad when you win 400k, I imagine. I've never won 400k, so I can't opine. The time control was game 60, delay 5. All right, let's see if Puzzle Racer, see if my scene actually works here. It looks like it does. That's good. Make sure nobody's talking to me on YouTube. Not yet. Oh, I can click here. Okay, so if you guys want to do Puzzle Racer, we'll do a few Puzzle Racers just to let some people show up, and then we'll review the OTB game. And that might be the extent of the stream, because I'm guessing it'll take me a couple hours to review the game, because that's usually how it goes. Nobody wants to race. Oh, there's Rishidan. Is Bouncy going to join, or will it just be me versus Rishidan? That's fine if that's the case. You really gotta pee? That's good for me. Improves my winning chances. There's Bouncy. I predict I'll get third out of 3, just like Lenny.
2, 1, 0.
And then draw the end game. I didn't really calculate, I just thought that was probably right. That's how to chess. I don't know. I'd be bouncy. He only got 1. But then Rishadan beat me. Dang. Ah, you tabbed out. Dang. Alright, we can do another one. Yeah, go to the bathroom. Bathroom's more important than Puzzle Racer. Yeah, now I want to play poker tournaments more. I'll probably play some tournaments Friday, I guess. Now I have the itch. All right, are we gonna wait for Rishadan to get back? Eh,
10,
he can do the next one.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
That's not right. I was looking at that, but I didn't know why he couldn't take with the knight. Oh, that's check? Da-dum. Dang. I beat him! Alright. I got 50 and he got 49. You get no hints, it's initiative. So I've heard that sit and goes were really popular or really profitable like 10 years ago and that they're not profitable now. That's just what I've heard. But I don't know if it's true. That's just what I've heard from various YouTube channels and stuff. Yeah, we can do one more. And then I guess we'll start the game review. Although it says I only have 2 viewers, man. Tough out here. But the first part of the game is not, you know... I mean, it's alright, I guess. Not the most important part of the game. Alright, Bouncy, Initiative, Zev, anyone want to play Puzzle Racer? Or it'll just be me and Rishadan. Let's skip this song, it's not so good. That's better. Alright, I guess it's just me and Rishadan.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Here. Okay. Jesus. Let's not check. Man, I'm doing really bad. Really slow. No. Da, 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 dum. Dang, he beat me by 3. Yeah, I was really slow in the beginning, and then I never got a good streak going. How's it going, Zamphafex? Alright, let's see. One more. Yeah, one more, why not? The second puzzle was hard. I mean, it wasn't, like, really hard. It was hard for puzzle number 2, you know? I wasn't looking for that kind of stuff. I was looking for, like, Maiden 1, Hanging Queen. Neither one of those things were true, Michael, but okay. How's it going, Michael? Ooh, now we get Bishop Blessings.
10, 9, 8, 7.
No, I cut my hair, like, I don't know, like maybe a week or 2 ago.
3,
I mean, I trim my beard, like,
0.
you know, at least once a week. But I didn't do it since last stream, aka yesterday. So you're just crazy. Oh, there was another pawn there. No. Man, Bishop Blessing crushed us. Rishidan beat me by 2. How's it going, Super Bry? Well, OTB was a pretty good game. I haven't revealed, you know, the outcome or anything yet. But I guess we can go ahead and start looking at the game. Seems like a good time. Let me make sure I don't, like, accidentally spoil the final position or something. So here's what we're gonna do. First off, we're going to this scene. Then we're gonna hide that. Then we're gonna pull up the game. Okay, I didn't reveal nothing. Pro streamer. Okay. So this game is game like 25 between me and Michael. And his score is like... I've beaten him twice, and I've drawn him once, and then he won all the other games. So he has a pretty decent score against me. It's probably not actually 25, it's probably more like 20, but whatever. The event is a chess league that we do around these parts. Yeah, not that Michael, the other Michael. AKA Chess in Black and White. Yeah, but not you. This was round 3, aka the final round, although there aren't really rounds, because it's a 4-person round robin. So this happened to be the last game, but like, we kind of just play the games whenever. Oh, nice. Because, yeah, I think I know your real name based off your YouTube channel. At least I was assuming that was your real name, but I don't know. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, so I won the first 2 rounds against lower rated players. And then very often when I play in this chess league, this is the circumstance. It's me versus Michael in the final round for first place, and then, you know, he usually wins. So, you know, that happens, I guess. So we've played many chess doof attacks previously and had spicy positions and stuff, and I figured that he would have prepped for that, and I didn't feel like doing a lot of prep, so I decided I'm not going to play a chess doofus attack. I thought about playing e4 actually, because he plays the French, and I thought about trying to play an exchange French and just get like some equal-ish position where nothing's happening. That was basically my goal, was to just get out of the opening with an equal position and, you know, just see what happens. I didn't really feel like trying to grind something out of the opening. But I did look at some exchange French lines last night, but I didn't really like anything. So, how's it going, McJurgle? So, I played d4 like normal, and we did get a Slav, and I decided to play an exchange Slav. So, up to here, this is probably what he expected. And then, sort of my main move at the moment is Bishop g5, the doof attack. Which can become very sharp, and I figured he would have prepped something. So instead of that, I played Bishop f4, which is a more normal exchange Slav kind of move. And yeah, I'm just going for like I said, just some boring, not necessarily boring, but just like non-critical positions in the opening. Just develop pieces and castle and stuff. And then we'll play chess and we'll see who wins. So that's what we did. We got our knights out. I wasn't real sure about, you know, if move order is that important. Like, this knight comes out first, this knight comes out first, e3, you know. I feel like all the moves are sort of okay, but... Okay, we did it this way. I think a6 is like a book move, because I guess black has to be thinking about these sorts of things happening, but... So I assume a6 is correct. And often black later wants to play b5, knight a4, knight a5, knight c4. So a6 is a useful move anyway. Okay, so bishop d3 feels pretty natural. That takes away, you know, probably the best square from the black bishop. So he played bishop g4 instead. I did look at this position in my prep. A6 is, in fact, in Feingold's brief draw Slav video. Okay, well, that's good to know. So I know a lot of times in the exchange Slav, they just play e6 and they don't bother getting this bishop out. And in my limited prep, my one of the things I took away from the prep was that if they do get their bishop out early, oftentimes queen b3 is a problem for them because you're poking at a lot of things that are weak. But I don't think queen b3 is good in this position, because if I play queen b3, I think he just plays knight a5 and he doesn't really experience any problems because everything's defended, the knight's defended. So queen b3 didn't really seem like it did anything all that good here. So I just played knight ge2, which I'm pretty sure I also saw when in my brief preparation for the game. I think f3 is also playable, but again, I didn't really want like a messy position. I just wanted, you know, an easy position. Yeah, you can do that kind of stuff in the Jobava, but the Jobava sucks, so. Okay, so knight ge2. And he played e6. And again, I don't know if move order is like so critical here. Oh wait, I think I played h3 here. Yeah. So, you know, castling would be very natural for white. After the game, he said he thought h3 was a little weird. But I said, well, if I castle right away, then knight h5, I think, is a reasonable idea for black. To just go after the bishop pair. So the point of h3 was not really to rattle his bishop, but rather to make a retreat for my bishop. Okay, and then instead of castling, I played rook c1. I didn't feel like there was any urgency to castle. Rook c1's a useful move no matter what. I don't think it's very critical. I don't think there's a huge difference between the two, but... Castles, knight h5, f3. How's it going, Stephen Willie? Let's see. I don't know, I didn't think about that. Well, I don't think knight f4 is necessarily right there. Because after knight f4, this bishop is gonna not feel so good. We're just winning a pawn here, I believe. Because you gotta allow like this, it seems. Yeah, but he can't get to g6. Yeah, because he doesn't have this anymore. So that might have been fine too. So maybe knight h5 wasn't anything to be afraid of. That's a good point. But yeah, I wasn't like super booked up or anything. I was just going by like principles, I guess. Okay, so h3, bishop backed up, rook c1. One of my thoughts with rook c1 is if he decided to play an early b5, like now that would be tactically suspicious. I don't know if that matters because he's probably not playing b5, but okay, he played bishop d6, which I thought was probably the most natural looking move for him. He could also play bishop e7 if he didn't want to trade bishops, but bishop d6 feels totally reasonable for black. I mean, the thing is, bishop d6, it feels like we could get a position where lots of stuff gets traded and it's just like an equal ending, you know, which maybe he doesn't want because he's the higher rated player. So that would maybe be a downside of bishop d6 in my opinion. But I'm sure that castling instead of rook c1 is fine. I don't think that it's very critical. I think auto moves are fine in this kind of position. Okay, so bishop d6 was played. I did consider not capturing his bishop. I thought about moving my queen out of the pin so that if he takes my bishop, I can recapture with the knight, which feels quite nice. But I couldn't find a queen move that I really liked. Because queen b3 still runs into knight a5, and queen c2 runs into knight b4. I didn't really consider queen d2, but maybe I should have. Because that sort of accomplishes what I mentioned. The thing about queen d2 is he's probably going to maneuver his knight to c4 later, or at least try to. So I just traded bishops, which I think is probably right. And here I had an idea, but I think my idea was not so good. So let's see what you guys come up with here. What should white do? I mean, probably white should castle, but I didn't do that because I wouldn't be quizzing you guys if castles is what I played. I'm sure castling's totally fine. But I tried to do stuff instead. Trying being the first step to failure. G4 looks a little crazy. Looks a little too crazy. I don't know what G4 accomplishes. That's my problem with it. I don't think black hates playing bishop G6. Knight A4, what does that do? I mean, knight A4 might not be terrible, I don't know. Okay, and what's the idea of queen B3? Move the queen to break the pin, but where? G4, yeah. G4 feels crazy. Well, I thought that it would be really nice to play knight F4. Because then his bishop is running out of squares. And, you know, I might get a position with a superior minor piece. Yeah, I don't think knight A4 really is that big of a deal. I did not play knight F4 right now, because then this wouldn't be a very good game. So I was thinking like it's initiative. I was like, I'll move my queen, and then I can play knight F4. Exclam. So I did play queen B3 because I figured it looks like I'm threatening a pawn, you know. I don't know if I'm actually threatening it. And a queen B3 I think it does happen a lot in the exchange Slav from what I can tell. How's it going, dominant cat? Pin is. I might have to ban you for that comment thing. Queen C2, it looks like it runs into knight B4 to me. You know, we probably don't want that. So queen B3, if you say you don't like it, tell me why. Yeah, that's true. I guess he would have to just go back with his knight. And actually, I thought that's one of the reasons that I thought this sequence was good for me, because before, if I had played queen b3, I thought knight a5 was a good response because the knight's defended, so there's no like check, you know. But after this trade of bishops, I thought queen b3 was good because now he doesn't have this way of defending his pawn, or I mean he does, but after check he would just have to go back, and he's sort of wasting time. So what should black do here? Cl is the periodic element for chlorine. That seems true. Castle. Well, is Black not worried about knight f? Like, isn't knight f4 a good move for white? That was my plan, knight f4. That was all I ever wanted. Lose in 5 moves? Why would you lose in 5 moves? Queen c7, still knight f4, I guess. How is it premature? Explain to me how it's premature. Rook b8, okay, knight f4. Well, I mean, I figured queen takes b7, he's got rook b8, and I'm not really winning a pawn there. I don't know, that looks kind of like counterplay. g5 looks fun. Tuck the king on e7. Yeah, and then he takes on b2, and I don't know, it's kind of messy. Premature knight movulation. Well, you guys are calling it premature, but nobody's refuted it yet. You guys are supposed to refute it, but nobody's doing it. Come on, chat. Use your brains. I'm a simple guy, I see a pawn, I take it. Fair. Queen b7, knight b4, that could also be true. I'd probably play bishop b1, I guess. But that does look a little scary, I admit. Yeah, I might get my queen trapped. Queen takes b7's like never good in these kind of things, right? Just never good. You can never take a pawn on b7 or b2 with your queen. All right, well, you guys are disappointing me because nobody's figuring out what the deal with knight f4 is. I don't care about. I never wanted his b pawn. Forget about the b pawn. Nobody's taking the b pawn. e5, and then I take one d5, I guess. You want it? Well, you might be right, DK. I don't know. We'll look at the computer at the end of the game. You were making a pun. Wait, what was the pun? Premature knight move. Oh, because ejaculation. I got it. Bishop g6, I take it. Hooray. Hooray for bishops. That's not the problem with knight f4. Oh, you play bishop g6 now? I actually thought about that. If bishop g6, I was still going to play knight f4. All day I'm playing knight f4. Big raid. Who was it? Hey, it's Ben and Karen. Thank you for the raid. How was you guys' stream? I actually didn't catch any of it because I was watching a poker stream and then I started streaming myself. I bet Ben sees the problem with knight f4 because Ben's good at chess. Karen probably sees it too. So yeah, I'm reviewing an OTB game that I played this afternoon, and I'm trying to get chat to, I'm trying to be instructive. So here's what happened in the game. Is I wanted to play knight f4 because I thought that was good square, and then I can get his bishop. But my knight's pinned, so I played queen b3 with the idea of knight f4. And then I'm trying to get somebody in chat to tell me why my idea is bad, because my idea is bad, but nobody figured it out yet. So why is my idea bad? You guys can do it. Somebody, anybody. Ejaculation was the first word you heard. Yeah, because Dominant Cat made a pun and then I had to respond to it. So blame Dominant Cat. I'll give you guys another hint. It's a tactic. Look for tactics. Tactics are important. I hate tactics too, because I always miss them. So here's what happened, is he castled. And I was like, well, he probably thought that I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to do that because I thought that was bad. Because then like rook over, you know. So I was like, all right, knight f4. That's what I wanted to do. Finally, Ferdinand got it. So I played knight f4. And he had like got up to go to the bathroom or get a drink of water or something. And then after I played it, like immediately I was like, oh, he can play knight takes d4. Whoops. So yeah. The game didn't get off to a great start because I hung a pawn like immediately. And he came back and he thought for a while. And I was briefly hoping like maybe he won't see this because like he didn't play it immediately. Which gave me some hope that maybe he was just gonna miss it. But he didn't, he played it. So, okay. Obviously this isn't really so good for white. Even if knight takes bishop, your queen is hanging. That's true. So, my queen is attacked. If I take the knight, he takes here. So, we gotta like, reassess. Figure out what the best thing to do from here is. Now knight takes g6 is interesting. But there's nothing on g6. Knight takes h5. What if he takes my queen? Two pieces for the queen. Come on, this is an OTB game. This isn't like bullet. Also, isn't my rook hanging? You know? Yeah, I mean, okay. So take. But I've got bad structure and I'm down two pieces for a queen. I don't know, man. I'm not convinced. I think the move I played is probably best. Only -3? I'm down a pawn. Why do I want to be -3? Like, I'm down one pawn. Knight takes e6. Why do you guys play the craziest moves every time? Knight e6, what if he takes my queen? Is anybody sane in this chat? How's it going, BR? Then I get a rook, but he took my queen. Queens are better than rooks. Queen a4, that's what I did. Finally, someone talking sense in the chat. So, yeah, I think that's the best option. Because here's the problem. If you take the knight... Not only did he steal a pawn, but now he's on the rook. And he's on this. So I don't know, this doesn't feel very good. Doesn't feel good at all. So I think Queen a4 is better. Now his knight's hanging. Oh, I meant to mention this to him after the game, but I forgot to. How's it going, Thaddeus? So he played knight c6, which seems very sane. Yeah, I meant to go backward, not forward. Knight c6 feels like a very normal, like... perfectly normal, reasonable move. I thought maybe he could play b5. Because I can't actually take this, because then my queen got trapped. I meant to mention that to him after the game. Oh, wait, no, I found... Yeah. I sort of found a way out of it. Yeah, this was confusing to me. This is the way the game could have gone, I guess. But he just... Yeah, Yeah, I mean, this is maybe playable for white. If he takes with the king, then I can get out of here with check. And if he takes with the knight, then I can take this. So I don't know, maybe he looked at that? I really meant to ask him that after the game, but I forgot. Queen d3 doesn't work, does it not? If it doesn't, then this whole thing doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Black plays e4, but now my knight's not hanging. So I just move my king, or my queen. Just move my, you know, here. Or here might be better, I don't know. And I'm on this pawn, and... So I don't know, I think that sort of maybe works. So maybe he saw some of that. Maybe he never considered b5. It is a hard move to consider, because it looks like it hangs a knight. Anyway, I mean, knight c6 looks, you know, like black is, I think, just up a pawn for very little compensation for white. But I don't think it's zero compensation. I think there is some. What about xd4? Okay, wait. I don't know what that means. So we're talking about here, here. If white take queen f4. Okay, wait, no, you're talking about here. You're talking about here takes d4. Oh, I see what you, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, you're saying here, knight e2 defending everything. Okay, well, unfortunately, your knight does defend everything, but black can take your knight off the board. So now your knight doesn't defend everything anymore because it's gone. So that would be the problem. Now your rook's hanging. I guess you can take with the king, but it looks pretty dicey. This is still hanging, uncastled, still down a pawn. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna cut it. Yeah. No, it's a reasonable line to consider. I think queen a4 is better. And just say, okay, I hung a pawn, but whatever. Okay, so now we're down a pawn for nothing. Now we have to, well, I spent a long time thinking here over the next two moves. Because basically I have two choices. I could say, well, I'll just play chess. I'll be down a pawn, but I'll have a normal position. But I'll be down a pawn and I'll suffer, but I'll try to defend and maybe I can fight my way back in the game or draw or something. Or I could play like a barbarian and try to get compensation for the pawn. But what's the how do I get compensation? So analyze those options and figure out which one's better. I know which one I did, but I don't know which one's actually better. Knight takes h5, queen h4. Well, he could play, like, you know, g6, I guess. Unleash the barbarian. g4 exclam. Bishop sack, where you put the queen in the middle line. You mean when I showed that line that didn't happen, where I took there to let my queen run away? Breaks h5, then g4. Probably he meant takes h5. Yeah, there's a few different ways that things could go down on the king side. Bishop h7 looks interesting right now. Agreed. We discussed that after the game. I feel like you guys you're learning nothing about me, Rishidan. You're finding like the most tempting tactical move and then playing it without, well, I don't know about without thought, but you know, just because things are interesting doesn't mean you should do them. That's like Donald Trump philosophy. Never go full Trump. You have too many light square weaknesses right now. Knight 6 h5. Castle is clearly best. That's probably true, Thaddeus. Wait, Nogs takes h4, then queen h4. Okay, then he plays like knight f6, I guess, or maybe g6, something like that. Doing things that are interesting in a game is how you learn. No, you calculate the interesting things, and then you see if they're good. And then if they're not good, you don't do them. Looking at them after the game is also effective. Yeah. I'm a little nervous about an attack before castling our king. Well, yeah, I agree with that also. Like if we go for some crazy stuff on the king side, like basically the claim that you're making is that I have a better chance of salvaging something from the game by going insane for an attack than I would if I just like castled and played a position down a pawn. If they are terrible, they aren't that interesting. Well, I mean, but you have to calculate to decide if they're terrible or not. That's my whole point. What's the attack after bishop h7? I don't know that bishop h7 is... Well, I guess it sort of transposes. So, if you play bishop h7, he can't take with... Well, I mean, he can, but if he takes with the knight, then his bishop's hanging is sort of the main point. So bishop h7, king h7, then we could take, and play queen h4. And try to get our piece back that way. So the question is, does that work? Is that like good, or is it not good? Then g6, okay, but then g4. Then I'm getting my piece back. For sure I'm getting my piece back there. Oh, I almost spilled my water. Knight takes bishop first, then sack bishop, then queen. I thought about that too. So takes, take, then queen h4. Okay, so what's black gonna do there? There was one reason that I didn't play that line. One reason and one reason only. After the game, he suggested that line too. I didn't think about that, Thaddeus, but that might be true. Bag of shitty oranges with a similar idea. The result has not been spoiled, Camel. How's it going? So, yeah. Thaddeus's line probably makes sense too. Or don't sack the bishop at all, just knight takes b, then queen threatening mate and win the knight. Well, we could do that too. So take, then queen h4, he could just go back. And he defends the mate and saves his knight. But, I mean, we could do it. You know. So, I took the bishop first, because I was like, well, I think I want the bishop no matter what. Because I did sort of decide that... I mean, here's the other thing that I think you should... Here's, I mean, another way to approach this sort of decision point for me is recognize that the alternative to doing some attack, like I said, is just castle and play down a pawn and just try to have a normal position. So we've only really covered half of the issue. The other half of the issue is, how do you evaluate the position after castles? Like, we're down a pawn, but is it like who's better aside from the fact that white's down a pawn? So I asked myself that question, and I tried to like decide, like, okay, if I just castle, like, what's black gonna do? How do I feel about that position? So let's say we castle, what does black do? Or, I mean, we could take the bishop first and then castle if we want to do it that way. Castles, black plays e5. If the bishop is taken first. Yeah, I mean, that was basically what I thought, but I went a little further than you. So I thought what black... the plan I found for black, if I just play, like, normal, is I think black can play e5, e4. And then, like, maybe later this knight can swing in here. And it felt rather unpleasant. It felt like black's up a pawn and with a better position. So that was sort of what made me decide I don't want to just play, you know, I don't want to just grovel. I want to try to find some kind of counterplay. So I did take the bishop. He took back. Groveling is fun. I mean, there's a time and a place for groveling, and I think sometimes I'm bad at just accepting that I should grovel, and you know, but I think here it did make sense to say no to groveling. Okay, so now we're here. This might be a good time to assess bishop h7. Because we still haven't really... Well, I mean, I guess Thaddeus's line I do sort of agree with. Yeah, I guess Thaddeus's refutation is good enough. As far as I can tell. That's what I did, Camel. So, after the game, he mentioned this. And I said that I thought about it, but I didn't actually know what to do after king g6. Like, king g6 looks crazy, but I don't actually know what to do here. I think I'm just down a piece. So that was my refutation. G4, then F4. I don't know. I think he's gonna, you know, G4 here, F4. I mean, do I have a threat? Like, maybe I do. I don't know. I feel like he's just gonna survive. It's a sub. Hey, Fleo. Thank you for the sub. How's it going?
I can't sleep. Hi.
Hello. Sorry you can't sleep. At least there's a good stream for you to watch, I guess. I don't know who it is. what Gen Pokemon is Fleorin? I think Flareon was Gen 1. I think so. You can't checkmate with just a queen. Yeah, that's the problem. That's what's annoying. F4 first to threaten something. Because you said checkmate threat, but I'm like... Well, I mean, I guess if he goes here, I'm getting the knight. What if he... Maybe here? Can he do that? Who says no? What's wrong with that move? Rook H8 doesn't work, because then I could check and take the knight. But yeah, I think here's good, because you're kind of getting rid of all your problems. So yeah, I mean, I think this was a reasonable idea, but... Now, I will say, Thaddeus's idea might be even stronger. Threatening this. And your queen's, like, trapped. Pretty much, almost. So that also seems good. Also, if somehow you get out of that, there's also this. So. Okay, so you can't go crazy right away, I don't think. King E2? Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, okay. King E2 looks good. What if I do similar business? Now that I found that defensive idea already. Big raid? Another big raid? Really? Wait. Velcro Dot, thank you for the raid. Yeah, sorry, my raid alerts haven't been working and I've been too lazy to fix them. But yeah, thank you for the raid. Welcome raiders, hope you had a good stream. We're reviewing an OTB game that I played this afternoon. Trade queens take the knight, that's true, I forgot about that. And yeah, white's worse, but... Okay, it's grovelable. That's true. Okay, so this stuff didn't happen because I couldn't make it work. So I played camel style G4. This was another position where I could just castle, but I thought this looked too good. With E4 coming, the knight getting in here. I thought it looked too good. I thought it looked too easy for black to play. So I cared more about that than being down a pawn. Okay, so I was like, okay, we're gonna try for some crazy counterplay. G4. Now the funny thing is, I thought he would play knight f6 immediately, and then he started thinking, and I was like, whoa, what's he thinking about? And I think there's only one, like, sane move to think about, other than knight f6, but there is one insane move to think about, too. Probably thinking Arby's. Knight e5 is what he played, so that's what he was thinking about. Did the guy play d4? I guess d4s you could think about, too. I thought maybe he was thinking about knight g3 with some tricks, but I couldn't figure out what the tricks were. So then in my head, I was like, if he does that, I might just play rook g1 and not let him do any of his tricks. But, I mean, I don't know, I might also could just take it and, you know, survive. I'm sorry, probably not there, probably here. But, you know, something. I don't think he can actually do that, but Okay, it was something to think about. He did say he was thinking about it, so at least I was right about that. Instead, he played knight d5, which we kind of debated after the game if it's actually good for black to do that or not. Now, here's another moment where I could sack, winning my pawn back, but my position is just awful. So I didn't think this was worth it. My king's not safe, weak pawns. So I just played bishop e2. I kind of doubt knight g3 works too. Wait, what are you talking about, K2 Hegemon? I'm confused somewhat. So I kind of liked that I got bishop e2 in, because I was thinking here, 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 and then like I think I actually have, you know, some compensation. I mean, I might even just be better. So I was like, maybe getting the bishop to e2 for free, sort of, is like good anyway. And his knight is on e5, where f4 might come with tempo later. So I wasn't sure if that was actually such a good move for him. Okay, he played knight f6, obviously. And yeah, again, you have to try to find, like, some plan. You still like bishop h7 better? Wait a minute. But... this looks terrible. What are you doing? What are you going to do with your king? These pawns are bad. But, like, what did you gain by doing this? Like, like, theoretically, you got your pawn back, but are you really gonna keep this pawn? G-file and the queen's coming over, but, like, not really. I mean, you know, that takes some prep, so... I mean, it might be an idea. Oh, also, I just noticed this move, which I didn't notice during the game or after the game or now. That seems like a problem. But you can't. You don't have time for that. Ah, there he is now. So chess in black and white was my opponent. Yeah, I don't think it ever got in there. Okay, so bishop e2 feels right. Knight f6. I was trying to figure out, like, order of operations here. Like, g5 and f4 are both pretty tempting candidates. Yeah, the fork would just be winning. For sure, if it wasn't winning already. Which is also possible. So yeah. I really wasn't sure if move order made a big difference here. One unfortunate thing about playing f4 is that makes it to where your queen can't swing over later. So I was kind of like, maybe I don't want to play f4. So I played g5. And, you know, he played knight fd7. Queen f4. That could be some idea. And I think it was probably around here that I started to think, like, I don't know that I believe in my attacks so much. But the game's already over, so it doesn't even matter. See, I would like to believe that my attack is amounting to something, but I don't actually see how it is. Oh yeah, Michael. I meant to ask you this after the game. I'm guessing you weren't here earlier when we talked about it. But there was this line that I was mentioning in this phase of the game. Did you consider B5 here? Yeah, we didn't talk about it after the game. I kind of saw it, like, after I played Queen A4. And then this was my, like, the only way I could find out of it. I feel like what you did makes more sense, but... Because yeah, I think white is sort of... I think white's sort of fine. I think. So yeah, probably what you did makes more sense. I mean, this just looks like you got a pawn, you know, for very little. B5 before castling was also a consideration. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could... Yeah. I mean, as you said after the game, white just doesn't really have a threat here. So yeah, you probably could do it. But I mean, yeah, you do have to worry about, you know, all this stuff going on. But yeah, it looks like it's an idea. Okay. Anyway, where were we? Here. So I couldn't really find anything better than F4. It felt like I just had to kind of go all in on this kingside attack, even though I didn't really believe in it anymore. I'm wondering if maybe I should just play like H4 and just kind of keep things relatively calm for now. But I'm really not sure. So F4, he played knight C6. I was sort of hoping for knight G6, but, you know, that doesn't really... That seems a little careless because you're, you know, running into this, so... Knight C6 makes all the sense in the world. Oh, okay, cool. Have a good one, man. It's also... It'll be on YouTube also. So if it's easier for you to watch on YouTube, then, I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube now, so... Everything's on both. Okay, so this was also a tough position because it's like, how do I actually continue my attack or start my attack? And what's black gonna do here? Unfortunately, I couldn't really find good answers to the first question of how do I actually make an attack work here. I think there's just not an attack. I think it just doesn't exist, which is unfortunate. But what can you do? All right, wait, what did you say? I missed what was said in the chat. Still prefer Twitch for streaming, but will prefer YouTube for VODs. I just don't like Twitch. I don't like Amazon. You know, I don't like Twitch. I like YouTube more, but nobody watches on YouTube. If you're playing against chess in black and white, how can the board contain brown, which isn't black or white? Well, we weren't playing on this board. Although we played with his board, and his board is like blue and white, so... If white's h-pawn ever gets to h6, black's just gonna lock up the position with g6. Well, I don't know if I would play like, in your hypothetical world, I'd probably play play G6 there, not H6, because I agree with you. If I just get to here, he's probably gonna, you know, be able to lock it up. I also thought later that maybe F5 is not so insane for black. I think it would maybe be a little... No, I think it's really not so insane. I think any attack on the diagonal is not really going to work. I did play H4 at Bag of Shitty Oranges. Which, like, I don't know, I guess that's the right move, but maybe not, because, again, I don't know that I believe in the attack. I think Google's less evil than Amazon, but yeah, I mean, any big company's evil, so I understand your concerns. But YouTube actually is pretty amazing, if you think about it. Like, YouTube is basically free, unlimited video storage. Like, that's crazy. Like, you know how much stuff gets uploaded to YouTube every day and they just don't charge for it? Rook c8 seems natural. I think black has more scary plans than that, but yeah, Rook c8 seems like a, you know, fine move. You've seen sketchy ads on YouTube? I believe that, but I think sketchy ads are less bad than, you know, the horrible things that Twitch lets people do, so. I mean, Twitch basically exists to scam lonely people out of their money, so I think that's worse. Google is the least evil. I think of the big companies, Google probably is the least evil. But they're still, you know, relatively evil. But isn't Amazon a bigger monopoly than Google? Maybe not quite in tech stuff, but they're pretty close. If they're not. Okay, so I did play H4. I feel like there might be something better, I just don't know what it is. So, H4, the plan that I thought that black had was to play knight c5 and try to put a knight here, you know, in some circumstance. And yeah, I just didn't think it was a very good position for white. Yeah, the thing is, if I try to do that, well, first off, you know, knight b4 is a thing that has to be considered. So it's gonna take some doing just to even build that battery. And then even if I did that, I think that f5 is not insane for black. And if f5 is insane, he could just play g6. And yeah, I mean, there's a little more to the story. Like, that's part of why I liked h4, was so if he ever plays g6, I have h5 to kind of pry things open, but I don't know, I'm just not really a big believer in any of it. I think it's just all too slow. Yeah, YouTube's definitely way bigger than Twitch, that's true. Would A3 be worth it to cover B4? I considered A3. But again, A3 just feels very slow. Like, you know, he's gonna start doing this, I think. So anyway, he sort of surprised me because I was fully expecting knight c5 and I was going to play queen d1. But he played queen c5. Which is probably better, but it's definitely more testing. A3 too reasonable, needs something more anti-positional exciting. Exactly. So queen c5 has the obvious threat of taking this pawn, which I think we can agree would lead to death for white. We really, really, really cannot allow that. King f2 was the first move I considered. Then black would make a move. So what scary move would black play? And then we gotta calculate that and see what happens. I disagree. I think there's something scarier. Yeah, d4. d4 is the idea. So king f2, d4. Calculate. E takes d4. That's a relevant line. Queen a7. Well, what if he takes my pawn? I took his pawn. He should take my pawn. Queen d4, queen d4, knight d4. And then how do we assess that? So you're talking about takes. Welcome to the stream. Another raid and another follow or something? Hey, Lafong, thank you for the raid. Man, we got lots of raids today. And thanks for the follows from Degench and Chess Fan. But yeah, I hope you had a good stream. We're doing some OTB review. Maybe I'll do a quick recap of the game, since we've had several raids, so probably a lot of people didn't see the whole game. So this game I played this afternoon at Panera. If you don't live in the US, or maybe Panera's not everywhere in the US, but it's like a sandwich shop and they have coffee and stuff. All right, immature kids. That's how I make a living. Teaching immature kids, so that's good. Okay, so here was the game so far. It was a quote-unquote boring exchange Slav. We developed our pieces. Then here I made a slight mistake. I played knight f4, because I like bishops. Ignoring the fact, or not seeing the fact, that he can take my pawn due to tactics. So he did that. I played queen a4. And then I decided, rather than playing like a sane person and groveling for the rest of the game down a pawn, that I was going to play like an insane person. So I played insane. I attacked all his knights. And I tried to attack his king. And then he played queen c5. Threatening my pawn. And we're trying to figure out what to do. So the suggestion that's been given in chat so far was king f2. And then it was pointed out that black's idea is to play d4. So how do we assess that continuation? How's it going, Pammy? Haven't been to Panera in I only go to Panera to play chess. I don't go there for food. Although I had a latte while I was there today and it was pretty decent. It tasted like exactly like a Starbucks latte. Probably because, you know, neither one of them are good. Knight d1 I considered, and then I realized it hangs my rook. Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, king f2, d4, ed4, knight d4. That's a relevant line. How do you assess that position? Do you run a local chess club at Panera? That is fairly common where I live. I don't run a local chess club, but the chess league that I play in, a lot of the games get played at Panera. No, it's a tournament, Ferdinand. I mean, I do know him, but I played Michael so many times. Like, I wouldn't want to, like, nothing against Michael. I wouldn't want to play him in like a match just because we've played a billion times already. I don't really like playing the same people over and over again, but you know, sometimes it happens. Okay, wait, let me see. Bag of shitty oranges line. King F2, D4, takes, and then you said queen takes D4, queen takes D4, knight takes D4, rook D1, but you didn't say which rook. I did look at that line. So there's a few things there. One, he could take your bishop, right? So your little skewer is not really, it's not quite working. But it's not bad. That was actually a line I was somewhat hoping for, because I think I could improve your line. I think King F2 here, take, and Michael and I should have discussed this after the game, but I forgot. I was thinking snip this. Although now I'm realizing that doesn't work at all. But I was thinking take that, then do it like that, or like this. But now I'm noticing it doesn't work, because he can do like this. Although maybe there's some weird, like, repetition here. I don't know if I believe it. Something. So I don't know if that maybe that doesn't work. But yeah, if you play rook d1 here, then I mean I think white would be relatively happy to get to this kind of a position where you're down a pawn, but it's, you know, it's trending towards a rook ending. And it might be hard for black to prove that he's better. Maybe. So I think that kind of a line might be okay. But there's other things to consider. Thanks for following whose ever it was. Sweet socialite. Okay, so first off, I mean, is there any other move to consider besides King F2? Yeah, Rook H3 is an option. So what do we think about Rook H3? King F2 natural is a baby's smile. Yeah, if you're not worried about this. We haven't really fully hashed out D4, but... I think there's one other candidate, but I ended up rejecting it. King D2, right, is another way to defend the pawn. King D2 does have an advantage, which is that it defends this rook, like, directly. So one line I was thinking about was King F2, D4, Knight D1, then I realized that my rook was hanging. But if my king's on D2, then my rook's not hanging after Knight D1. But my king's on D2, so, you know, that's not great. Now, Rook H3 was also mentioned. That still has the disadvantage of this guy is undefended. And I think that D4 is still quite a scary move. I'm still not feeling real good, you know, with white here. I don't think the kingside attack's gonna happen, man. I gotta be honest with you. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So, in view of those reasons, I did play king f2. And he played d4 as I expected. And my initial plan here, I was thinking maybe I could just play knight e4, let him take this pawn with check, put my king on f3, and then resume trying to attack on the king side. And I could try to set up some tricks with knight f6, but I don't think they ever actually work. Rook h3 to d3. I don't know how that's going to happen. I think there's always going to be something here. But I actually ended up doing something different. I did take the pawn on d4. I eventually concluded that, like, my gut reaction to it when I was thinking about it here was that taking the pawn looked like suicide. But then I calculated some lines and I thought maybe... I mean, I thought it was just more... It looked better than going down 2 pawns, you know? So I took... And now you'll notice that I'm pausing. Because black has an obvious move and a less obvious move. And I don't know which one's better. Even though I played the game, I don't know which one's better. So maybe the most natural looking move is queen takes pawn, which we already sort of discussed. That forces a trade of queens. And then we get this end game where, yeah, black's like ahead of pawn, but maybe he gave away some of his advantage. Maybe. Queen f5. No, wait a minute. Well, I just took his pawn, right? Queen f5 might be a little interesting. Maybe I would play king g3? I don't know. If knight takes, he loses a knight. Or does he? I guess since I'm the one streaming and not black, then I won't build up too much drama. If it were Michael's stream, then he would explain, you know, that a lot of calculation needs to go into knight takes d4. So he played knight takes d4. Now the interesting thing about this to me is I think black is playing a little bit risky here unless he just calculated everything. Talking to him after the game, I don't think he calculated everything. I think he was playing somewhat intuitively. But I agree with his intuition that this is like, you know, that black's gotta just be killing it here. So the burning question is what happens if we take the knight? Are we dead or are we not dead? And the answer is I don't know. I'm gonna get some water while you guys mull that over. I'll be right back. All right, what did you guys decide? Should I take the knight? The discovery. What discovery? What discovery are we afraid of? Taking the knight looks bad. Not sure giving the dude the d-file to work with. Well, there's also a discovered around the corner is wise. That gets scary when the knight moves. But what discovery are you scared of? Knight b3 check, okay. I agree with knight b3 check. Knight b3 check will win an exchange. But if I take a knight first, then it's 2 knights for a rook. And then who's holding all the cards? And like sort of like I said before, the other side of this coin is what's our alternative? We could move out of the we could make some king move where we're not getting discover checked anymore. But are we actually in good shape there? Knight f5. Well, I don't want to capture my own pawn, and it's illegal. Although then I am threatening the queen. So, interesting. Okay, probably you mean knight e4. Oh, wait, you said f5. That's even more illegal. Black doing knight f5. Oh, okay, never mind, I got you. I think the b pawn hangs at the end of... Wait, at the end of what line? Rook a d8 is coming after queen takes d7. That looks scary. I agree. Well, to me, there's like 2 moves to consider. There's taking the free knight and then living with the consequences. Or knight e4 looks like a reasonable move to me. So, after knight e4, knight e4 looks amazing. Well, I thought after knight e4 he would play like queen b6. How's it going, Vindictive? Knight b5. Wait. Knight b5, why not knight takes b5 check? Oh wait, because then I can take the queen. That's a good reason. Okay, knight b5. A b5. Queen a8. Rook a8. Rook c5. And we lost a knight. Wait, was that a good line? Hello, Kiwi. 10k channel points. If only channel points had any use. Okay, what if knight b5... Wait a minute, now I gotta refute this move. I didn't think about that. It could be possible. Knight b5, a b5, rook b5. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Knight b5, a b5. Queen takes rook. Rook takes queen. We take a rook. He takes. That's just a big trade, right? Isn't that a big trade? We're talking about here. 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 Yeah, we lost a piece, didn't we? Okay, so that whole thing was crazy. Right? Okay, good thing I didn't think about that. Okay. Now, I do want to add that I thought if I played Knight E4, he would just, like, maintain this discovery somehow. And I didn't really see what to do here. So that's why I didn't play this. After the game, he suggested maybe here. And that does seem a little tough. And then I think I suggested here, but did we refute that? I can't remember. I don't think we refuted that, but... Anyway, that didn't happen. I took the knight. Because, you know... Not a chicken. I mean, I think, like... I think White's just in trouble. And I think if you're going to be in trouble, it's better to be up material. Right? So I took the material. Unfortunately for me, Rook F to D8 was not played. Because then I could actually play this. And I don't know, it's confusing, but that's what I wanted to have happen. Instead, he played the better Rook A to D8. With the point that now if I play Knight E4, he can take my rook. Which is unfortunate. So, instead, I retreated my queen, because kind of I have to. And he thought for a while... The thing about the discovery is there's just not, like, a hugely terrifying discovery. He doesn't really have a move that, like... I don't have a big piece in range of his knight. He played knight b3, so, like, you know, it looks like he's going for my rook, which is fine, but he gave up 2 knights for a rook. Is it crazy to play queen takes b7? I thought about queen takes b7, and I decided that, yes, it is crazy. Because then, you know, this is getting kind of... There's a lot going on there. It didn't seem too good. But I don't know. This is kind of the phase of the game where it's hard to calculate everything, so you kind of just have to start making judgment calls. But yeah, I thought it was better to keep the B file closed. Okay, so he played knight b3. I played king f3. That seemed like the safest square. I can't really be checked anymore. Well, he could play knight d2 check, which we discussed after the game. He just took the rook. I took back. So, I mean, the thing is... You know, white is arguably ahead material. We can debate a little bit. So if, like... My feeling was that if I can survive and not get checkmated or lose material, that, like... That white's probably technically better. But I was also low on time at this point. Well, it probably requires concrete calculations, but I think I think it's just too hard to calculate everything. Especially in a relatively quick game like this was. This was game 60, delay 5. Yeah, it is imbalanced. That's true. Yeah, the king is very vulnerable. That I would say that's the problem. I was still entertaining dreams of, like, queen here, bishop here, checkmate. He played rook d4, dashing my dreams. And I already was down to, like, 5 minutes on the clock at this point. And unfortunately, I spent way too much time here. I spent probably about a minute. Because I saw that 94, like, if it works, sort of relieves a lot of pressure. So I spent time calculating 94, which is unfortunate because 94 doesn't work. So 94, everything's hanging everywhere, but he can just take the knight. And everything's still hanging everywhere. But now I lost my knight. So that doesn't work. So I played queen c2. And he played rook c8, creating this annoying pin. But I actually was starting to feel like maybe I was gonna survive this. I didn't really see the attack for black anymore. And it felt like I just needed to untangle my pieces and I would be fine. But I was down to like 4 minutes or 3 minutes, so it is kind of tough. You think I'm dead? I doubt it. Why should I be dead? Explain to me why I'm dead. Stop b5? Move pieces out of the pin? What about rook d1? And then start bailing out of the pin. That's what I was thinking too, bag of shitty oranges. I might have played a little too quickly here, I'm not sure. I mean, my move might be good. But I might need to do something about this, you know, problem on the B file. Is it bad to use the bishop as a shield on d3? Nah, because I played bishop d3. But maybe I should play rook d1. I don't feel afraid of your line, Vindictive. b5, take, and then like here. I don't feel afraid. If your black goal is run the e pawn. I don't know. Queen d2. I don't know, I could go here, I could go here. I like all the moves. Hello, Sabarishk. Okay, so this did not happen. I wonder maybe if I should have played rook d1. I played bishop d3. And he played Zev's move, queen d6. And I again had to spend a lot of time figuring out how to not lose here. Which is a bit unfortunate because I don't think it's that hard. And I assume what I played is best. Although actually I'm not sure. I pronounced it correctly? No way. Rook d1, but then this is the problem. This is super hanging. So we got to figure out what to do about that. So how do we save ourselves on f4? Also, my bishop's hanging. Don't forget about that. Bishop e4. I agree with bishop e4, but I think I can improve upon it. Let's improve on bishop e4. Why play bishop e4 now when I can play it later? Yeah, why not take a pawn first? Exactly. Yeah, and then you play bishop e4. And then after I played this, so I was probably at like 3 minutes, or maybe 4, I can't remember. And he was at like 12 minutes or so, and there's only a 5-second delay. So the time situation's fairly dire. So after I played this, I was thinking like, should I offer a draw here? I didn't expect him to accept the draw, but I sort of decided that I thought that white was technically better. Because white's just up material. And I didn't see, like, tactical problems for white. So I was like, I think white's technically better, but with my time situation, I don't know if I can actually prove it. So I decided to offer a draw, which I didn't expect him to take, but, you know, it was there if he wanted it. He did not accept the draw. Alright, what if black sacks on c3? Well, I guess I would take it. What's your follow-up? White's pieces feel out of sync. Yeah, I mean, the pin on the C file is a little bit annoying. We just gotta get out of that somehow. If F5 good, then black has threats. I would probably take it. Then black's king's getting opened up a little bit over there, too. Rook c4 is a move I considered. But okay, I'll just like, I don't know, rook e1 maybe? I feel like I might have had something else. Rook c4 doesn't really do anything, I don't think. I guess you're sort of threatening to take my bishop, but only sort of. Maybe just rook e1. F5, GF, GF, threatening F5. Yeah, I get a turn in there, though. I get to do something. Surely I can do something. I don't know, maybe. That might be kind of tough. Yeah, but maybe I can do something else. I just haven't figured out what it is yet. I don't know, it might be a good plan. Now, knight b5? That doesn't work. Well, also it's black's turn. But assuming it wasn't, he takes my queen, I take a queen, he takes a rook, right? I think that's the end of the calculation. I think. Okay, so he played b5, trying to exploit the pin. Which does put white, you know, he's got a threat, so I gotta do something. I was ready. I knew what I was gonna do against b5, and I did it. f5 might be winning, I don't know, I'm sort of not sure what I should do against it. Did he say anything about rook d2? We didn't discuss rook d2 after the game. I mean, I think I just moved my queen. Maybe queen b3? What's the big idea? It might be good. I mean, rook looks good there. I think I like the way he played better. But I'm not sure. Yeah, queen b3. Yeah, queen d4. I mean, that's annoying. I agree. Maybe I play queen a4 then, to be less annoyed by that. Okay, so I'll play queen a4. Rook d2, queen a4. Queen e2. Wait a minute. How does that ever work? Yeah, the pin is sort of the problem. I don't know what line you're talking about. It's hard to keep the lines straight when we're all talking about different stuff. So he played b5. The suggestions that have been given in chat were f5, which I admit I don't really know how I'm... Like, I don't really know what we're doing about this. But maybe something. I don't know. I don't know, man. It does look tough. I'm wondering if there's some way I can threaten some kind of perpetual, but I don't know if I believe it. Okay, so we'll have to look at that later with the engine. The other move that was suggested was rook here. I think queen a4. But I would believe it if you told me that there's still problems here. I would believe it. And the move in the game was b5. So now what should we do after b5? He's threatening b4. Look at this sick move. Queen e2, knight b5. Queen e2 where, though? I don't know what you're talking about, queen e2. Okay, we're talking about this position. Where am I playing queen e2? This song is from Celeste. This is one of the B-sides. It's called Reflection, Center of the Earth Mix. B5, rook d1, b4, rook d4, queen a4. Well, that's similar to the game, so we'll look at it soon. Also your line loses, but it is similar to the game. Okay, where am I playing queen e2? I'm confused. You're saying, okay, b5, queen e2? And then b4? I'm confused. And then you wanted to play knight b5, is your point. Is that true? It could have a smack of truth to it. I mean, I guess, well, his queen's hanging, so that's not good. Yeah, maybe. Maybe some of that works. Alright, what about this? That's no good. He loses all of his pieces. All of his pieces are gone. That's too bad for him. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so B5's bats. He'll do something else, I guess. Although, what would have actually happened, we'll never know. Both players were low on time here. Knight B5 is pretty cool. It's a good resource. Maybe he would play, like, rook somewhere here, maybe? So that it's defended? No more back rank stuff? Maybe. I did something different. But your move's better than my move. So what else can white do? Because here's what I was thinking. I was still thinking, like, I'm technically up material. I want to trade all the garbage. And if we trade stuff, then I'll be ahead material and, you know, I shouldn't lose. A3 doesn't really do much, though, because he can just, you know, that's a temporary measure. His threat is still looming. Although maybe now your Queen E2 idea is more powerful. B4? Oh, you're hanging your pawn there, and your knight's all pinned, and I don't know. That doesn't seem right. If you're looking to trade, then rook D1. That's what I did. And then I realized something. Doo-doo-doo. How does rook D1 stop B4? Well, he played B4. And then I played rook takes rook. And he played queen takes rook. And then I played queen D1. He said he was expecting queen knight E2, which I didn't even see was legal. So we got this position. But that's not correct. That's what happened, but it's not correct. So what is correct? Rook takes D1, queen takes D1 was my plan. But yeah, rook takes C3 check. I didn't actually notice that line. I thought I noticed this, which also works. So that would be too bad. So after I played rook D1, I realized that, but we were both low on time. And yeah, luckily for me, he didn't find it. He played B4. And B4 like looks like it should win material somehow, but it doesn't. Well, I mean, I haven't looked at the game with the engine yet, so I don't know. But we did this, and now it doesn't look like he should win anything. Okay, so this is the spicy part of the game, because I'm at like 3 minutes. He's probably at like 6 or something. It's getting really down to the wire. He played queen C4. Now my knight is hanging. Nope, he didn't do it. Oh wait, he could do it here too. That's true. Yeah, why can't he do it? He can do it here. We didn't notice that after the game either. But it's like the same idea. Just removing the defender. So queen d1 doesn't actually work. So maybe knight e2 is right, or Ferdinand's queen a4, which is kind of funny. Okay, so rook takes c3 would have ended the game on the spot, it looks like. He didn't see it before, why should he see it now? That's true. Yeah. So queen c4. My knight's hanging. So I moved it. And he was a greedy, greedy little pawn grubber. I think maybe it feels like black should be able to do something better than just take a pawn, but I don't know. This position, it's too hard for me now. Especially since we were in time pressure. So he took a pawn. Well, where else should I go with the knight? I don't know. I don't see any squares that look too good. I don't know. I don't like any of the square. Knight a4 feels like the best square. I mean, he got back rank, made it. I wish. F5 looks like a better alternative to pawn grabbing. Yeah, but then I mean, his king's getting a little loosey-goosey there, but maybe. There was a top GM game like this circa 2019 where black had a winning tactic 3 moves in a row. Yeah, we are basically GMs, so that makes sense. F5 might be better, I don't know. Rook d2, are you talking about, you're still talking about back here? Wait. You're talking about here. Okay, queen a4, and then what? And then you're saying he can take this? I mean, I think white. I think, you know, black might just be winning. So you might be right. But yeah, I'm not sure. It's tough. Okay, but this was the game. Yeah, the pin was more annoying than I thought it was going to be. Okay, I played queen d7. Threatening checkmate. So it's got to be good. He played queen b3 check. I played king g4. I am forced to wonder if maybe I should... King g4 felt like the safest square, but maybe... I don't know. Maybe I should go to the second rank. It's just my king's so floaty. I'm not sure. King g4 felt like the safest, but... Nah, I can't do it like a Gadmater does. Okay, so now his rook's hanging with checkmate. Bishop d3, I guess, is a consideration, too. I didn't even see that that was legal. That does seem like a consideration, though. Yeah, queen d1 check. Okay, king g4. He saved his rook and his f-pawn. Now, this is the kind of position that I wish that we had had, like, you know, 30 minutes on our clocks. Because it seems like there's a lot of, you know, a lot of interesting... Like, I don't even know how to really assess this. I don't even know who's better. I got nothing. Position too hard. It sort of feels like black can't really do anything. I don't know if white can do anything. But maybe white can just chill and nothing bad will happen to me. Like, maybe I should play like h5. I don't know. It is white to move, that is certain. Yeah, this is a tough position for a time scramble. You play queen b6? That's not legal. h5, queen e3. Maybe. Queen c6. Why would you go there? I don't get it. Then you're allowing him to play queen d1 check. Which may or may not matter. I don't know. This is tough. Improve the knight. The problem is the knight's the only thing holding the b2 pawn. I sort of like h5, but you do have me a little bit convinced that black should probably have a perpetual, if nothing else. So I don't know. Well, I played queen e7. It did feel like it should be annoying. And he played check, because I gave up, you know, d1. And now, I mean... if I play king back to the third rank, you know, he's probably going to have a perpetual, or at some point I'm going to have to move my bishop to where I'm not controlling h7 anymore, which is unfortunate. I played bishop f3. Yeah, he can't take the knight because his rook's hanging. Now his queen's hanging too. Queen g1 check. Black dead? That's kind of what I thought too, but I'm not sure that it's actually true. King h5. Yeah, which I guess is the only real try. Okay, now his rook's hanging. With check. So he defended it. I was wondering about king h3, but I think, I mean, he can go here. I think to try for a win, I'm going to have to play king h5. I think. I think I'm just going to get checked forever if I don't play king h5. Why doesn't he get mated there? Like here and here and... Isn't he getting mated? Somehow... Well, then I'm getting mated, so... Dang, tough stuff. Okay. Let me think about this some more. Tough stuff. I guess I just go here. And then he mates me. Jeez. Maybe he can do that. What a world. Wow. Am I just screwed here? Do I just don't have a... I just don't have a move. Well, okay, I guess I have to go, like, here. No, but I'm still screwed. Wow, so Queen G3 might have just been winning. So I guess I have to play King H3. But then it's probably a draw. Well, that didn't happen. He played King G8. Although it kind of happened. I played Knight C5. I was down under a minute here. I was really kind of scrambling. He played Queen G3 now. Bishop E4. And now it doesn't work. I was really hoping he would play G6. Because then I have this. And Nigel Short would be proud. But he didn't do that. Instead, he took my pawn. And yeah, I was at like 10 seconds here. Why not Bishop E4 and bouncing his line? Wait. Yeah, maybe I can do that. No, there's nothing here. Nothing here for black. Yeah, okay, maybe I can do that. Okay, anyway, King G8 was played, Knight C5, Queen G3, Bishop E4, and he took my pawn. And yeah, I was at like 10 seconds or 30 seconds, something. This was sort of the decisive moment of the game, I think. I couldn't figure out what to do. I still don't really know what to do, and we even talked about it after the game. But we still couldn't figure it out. No, I mean, my intention was Bishop H7, but I saw that it didn't work. Yeah, Bishop H7 doesn't work, because you get mated. As Bouncy pointed out. So yeah, then it's tough. Then you gotta, like, you know, find something to do. Well, knight d7 is what I played with, you know, with very little time on my clock. But I don't think it's a good move because he played g6. And then with my flag falling, actually I flagged, but he didn't call my flag. But I played here and he mated me. I'm not really sure why, other than time trouble, that, like, I didn't really even... Like, even though I was intending to sack my bishop in the other line, I didn't do it here. But he pointed out after the game that he can just go here. And it seems like black's winning. But it still is, I mean, it still is interesting because, you know, these pawns are going... I don't know. But think of, but that's not good. Now here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the guy will start checking me. But it is, yeah, I mean, there's some stuff to be said. I agree. Okay. I don't know if that's true, bag of shitty oranges. I think he can, but there's a lot to go over with the engine in this game because there's a lot of things I just don't know. Well, I agree that it's a draw versus losing, but I think maybe you forgot the point where I said I had 10 seconds on my clock. So I don't know why I forgot that bishop takes g6 was legal. Like, obviously I should play it, but I just had, like, no time. Like, I literally flagged. He just didn't call my flag. Like, I moved hanging mate after I'd already flagged. So it didn't really matter. So yeah, a bit of a tragedy, because I sort of felt like I was winning at some point, but I'm not really sure that I was. What's the training regimen for seeing that bishop g6 is legal? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I agreed that I should play it, but I don't know, it didn't occur to me for some reason. Play more? I mean, I play every day for the last 8 years. Okay, let's see what the computer says. I'm guessing everybody was winning at various times. Surely I was winning at some point. Come on, tell me I was winning. So it was a draw at the end, and then it was a draw before the end. I was never super winning, but I was better at various moments. And basically there were blunders. So the opening was sort of whatever. I mean, obviously I wasn't playing the opening to get an advantage. And then this is a blunder, obviously, because it hangs a pawn for no reason. Okay. Knight c6 is correct. b5 is also playable, but my bishop h7 line is somewhat believable. Yeah. Okay, so knight c6 makes more sense. It does just want to castle and grovel, but it says this is okay too. It's a sub. Super Bri, thank you. Thank you for the prime sub.
Almost forgot to resub lol.
You're bad. Nah, thanks for the sub. Okay, so yeah, it wants to grovel, but I don't know, maybe there's something to be said for making it complicated instead, I don't know. 95 isn't... Okay, it's about the same. Bishop e2 is good. It again wants to castle and grovel, but g5 is okay. Still wants to castle and grovel, but f4 is okay. Still wants to castle. It doesn't love h4 so much. But then the game turned a little bit. Yeah, because king f2 is actually fine. And this d4 ain't as scary as it looked. Yeah, I think Bag of Shitty Oranges said queen a7 here, which is what the computer wants to do. That's sort of surprising. I guess the captures just don't actually work out so well. Yeah, no, he's better than me. I don't think there's a psychological edge. I mean, he's... Like, I mean, one of the reasons he's better is that he calculates faster than me, so he ends up with more time, and then I make bad moves in time pressure. But that's just part of him being better than me. I don't think there's a psychological thing going on. Yeah, it just seemed like he could get away with taking the pawn, but I guess he can't. So this is reasonable. And it says 94 and queen takes d7 are both reasonable, and white's kind of back in the game, but black's still better. Wow, okay, wait. So I gotta turn this thing off again. So it says after this that now it's equal. And it says after this, I'm dead lost. Black, that's a blunder, black's winning. Did we figure out why black would be winning? I know I didn't. Why is black winning? What's black supposed to do? He played knight b3, which made it, like, equal. But I saw the engine said black's winning here. He has some duper discovery? It's probably something with knight f5, is my guess. Knight f5, queen d3, rook d2 kind of stuff looks sort of scary. Probably, but there must be one, like, specific line. Let's see. Yeah, it is knight f5. Thanks, Omicorn, for following. Knight f5 check. I think king g2 would be my gut reaction. Yeah, and queen e3. Yeah, this is getting kind of tough here, isn't it? This isn't too hard to believe. He had a lot of time actually around that fade. Like he probably could have found this. I mean, we do have to remember that black's down a piece here, so if he doesn't see, like, some knockout, you know, he's maybe not gonna feel like he has to go for this. Like, what he said after the game was basically that he saw this position and he knew that he at least had knight b3 and that should be, you know, fine. But yeah, it turns out that it says this is just winning for black, but I mean, yeah, it's not. I mean, you have to be a little brave to do it, I think. You're talking about rook here now? Yeah, I was thinking queen e4, and I can stop you from coming in. So it actually is sort of time sensitive that you get queen e3 in. It says 93 checks fine too, but whatever. Yeah, I agree that it's difficult. Well, but I mean, you're also hanging your thing here. I looked at that too. Except I didn't look at that, I looked at hanging the rook. I mean, rook d4 might be good too. Okay, what if I go here? I'm hanging my bishop. Dang. Yeah, so it says there's actually just, like, not really a move here. Okay, what would I do? I would try to get my queen back over here. Queen g3 check, now the only winning move. King f1, the only legal move. Yeah, now it likes your move. Yeah, this isn't really too hard to believe, is it? You just kind of have to get here in your mind. The 93 check's also good. I guess 93 wins a queen, so... Yeah, okay, so you just have to calculate deeply enough to see all that. That's not the easiest, because... I mean, it's not... It wouldn't be impossible to find by any means. Like, he could definitely find that. But, you know, queen e3 not being a check or a capture makes it a little bit harder to find, but... Okay, so instead, he went here, and now it's close to equal again. King f3 is actually the only good move. Felt safest there. And then, yeah, this is the best continuation. Rook d4 is good, queen c2 is good. This is all good. Although it says rook fd8. It wants to just double up. Okay. I think I was thinking about knight e4 there, I guess, is what I was thinking. It says that's not as good, but... Rook d1 also makes sense. Try to trade the stuff. It's definitely findable. Okay, and then this is not so good, because rook d1's better. Wait, I thought rook d1... I don't know what I thought. I don't know anymore. Huh, it actually does play bishop e4 rather than taking the pawn and then playing bishop e4. That's so weird. How weird is that? It actually doesn't want the free pawn. I mean, I guess we're arguing that by taking this pawn, we're sort of solving Black's back rank problem. I guess that's what we're arguing. That thought never crossed my mind. I was like, yummy, 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 give me the pawn. Okay. Here, and then he played, what did he play? Oh yeah, he played, yeah, he played b5, but it says after b5 that I'm actually better here. Maybe it's this queen e2 idea that you guys found. Because I had very little time on my clock, and I actually thought that I was a hair better. But I had like 4 minutes and he had like 15 or something like that. And I didn't expect him to accept it anyway, but I would have been happy with a draw here. If there were more time on my clock, I wouldn't offer a draw. He wasn't low on time yet. He got low on time later. I think I like you guys' Queen E2 move. Threatening Knight B5. Exclam. Is that the answer? Let's see. Huh. It's Queen B1, which we actually talked about after the game. Welcome back, Dominant Cat. After the game, we were looking at this position, and like I showed him that Rook D1 just lost on the spot. And so then we were like, okay, well, what should White do here to get out of the pin? And I was like, well, it looks like White can only play Queen B1, but that looks miserable. But then the computer says Queen B1 and White's like doing really well. So I guess I just don't understand chess. I mean, I guess it just comes down to what I said earlier. Like, White is technically up material. So White just needs to untangle. And if White can trade pieces, that's going to be good. So it's giving Queen B1 to play Rook D1. Because then stuff isn't hanging as much. So it says Queen B1. I'm going to come back to this F5 business, because I do think we got to look at that too. Maybe I'm not going to come back to it. It says Rook D8, which I can believe. But we're sort of like untangling. Summoned by the pin. Interesting. Big if true. Okay. Now the computer does say that F5 vindictive style is the best. And it says black has a small advantage. After takes. Here we can play Queen E2. You guys are geniuses, because you found this. And the whole point of Queen E2... Queen E2 is the only move that stays in the game. And the whole point is to set up Knight B5. And it says F5, Knight B5, only equal move. So you guys are geniuses of the highest order. Then it says takes, and then the obvious King G2. Now black's only move is to play check. Now White's only move is King H1, otherwise he gets mated. Then takes, and we're down a rook. Check. Here. Only move. Here. Only move. Only move. Chess is hard, man. Now we could play check or take the rook with check, and it says equal, but black's a little better. So you guys saw that whole line, right? Man, chess is hard. Queen E2 because of that, all of that stuff. Otherwise White's cooked. All right, well, live and you learn, I guess. Okay, and now queen b1 and white's doing well. Instead, I hung everything, but he didn't take it, so I hung it again. But he didn't take it again. Now I'm better again. Because again, material-wise. But it says I should play knight e2. Bouncy was right to be suspicious of knight a4. I just don't really get, like, what's so good about knight e2, but I don't get what's good about knight e4 either, so... Or knight a4 either. Oh yeah, no, that whole sequence was awful for both of us. Did my camera just die? Is that what happened? It did. Amazing. I thought I charged my phone real good. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I can fix this. Nope, I can't. Okay. I'll just turn on the other camera. I charged my phone, like, super well. Do. How long have I been streaming? What time is it? What year is it? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Alright, don't worry, guys. There we go, I'm back. In worse quality. Okay. So now it wants knight e2 takes queen d7. This is similar to the game, but my knight's on e2 instead of a4. Oh, and it actually likes bishop d3 here. Now there's no queen d1 check. What happens here? It's not as good. Because of queen c4. Okay. Big if true. Yeah, I guess I believe all that. Knight a4 is not a disaster. White's still better. He should play queen c7. Okay, I was right that grabbing the pawn was too greedy. Now I should play... This actually gives away all the advantage. Wow, it plays king g3. Or knight b6. Knight b6 I understand. Why does it like king g3 so much? I guess to play bishop f3? Is that the whole point? I don't understand king g3. Oh, to get queen h5, yeah. What's weird is I was thinking about that like way earlier in the game. Or I thought it was way earlier in the game. Yeah, somewhere around here I was thinking about like how do I get in here? Somewhere I was thinking about that. Yeah, so white's actually winning here. It seems like knight b6 doesn't actually do much. It's just a tempo move, and then you play this and get in there. Ah, man, I could have found that. Definitely, I could have found that. Okay, now it's equal. It does want to go to the second rank. It doesn't want to go here. That's so hard to, like, rationalize during the game. But it's just how the game played out. Like, I thought my king was cozy here, but it was unclear who was getting mated, but it turned out to be me. Yeah, now it just says zeros. Yeah, because there's just it's just... You've got to let yourself get perped here. Which we already kind of figured out. Yeah. Now I'm lost. Let's look at Bouncy's move. Yeah, bishop e4, which we figured out, but black is still winning. it claims. Queen takes f4 is the only winning move. Yeah, we talked about 96 after the game. We're like, well, it doesn't work. So, unfortunate. If only it worked. Yeah, and that's actually giving the game away, as we figured out eventually. So if I had seen the other legal move, but then here I have to find king h6, not taking the pawn. Because as he said, this is winning for black. Yeah, the thing is, I mean, these pawns they're just not as dangerous as they look, because the king's already right here. But, you know, he's got this, and he's going to have another one here somewhere. I wondered about this. Oh, okay, it goes here. And it's like, whatever, I don't care. Man, that's so tragic that it was a draw at the end. That I just, like, literally didn't see that bishop takes g6 was legal, even though I had seen it was legal 5 seconds earlier. So that's pretty tragic. But even if I had found it, I don't think I'm playing king h6 here. I think I still end up losing the game because I would do this, and he already had seen this, so I still would have lost. So it was an interesting game. Now what broke? Now something else broke. I think my phone's just still like messed up. Yeah, there's no way I can blitz out king h6. So interesting game. I mean, it sucks to hang a pawn this early in the game, but I think I actually played well for the next like phase. Like, basically this phase of the game was pretty decent. Like, this is sort of like, technically it's a blunder because knight f5 is winning. But knight f5 is not the most obvious move, and if he doesn't find it, then I'm in the game. Which is what happened. So, okay. It's so wild that it likes bishop e4 better than taking the pawn. That's so interesting. And then here, this is actually like a grovel move. You have to just play king b1, or queen b1. And sort of grovel in the short term, but then you untangle and you have more material. It still would be really tough from here with the time situation. Okay, and then tactical blunder was not found. And I guess we can call this a consequential decision. I guess I should just want my knight closer to my king than all the other guys. Tough stuff, man. And it is kind of, like, I didn't really think about king h3, to be honest. But I thought I was on the front foot here, which is just a misevaluation. But if I was okay with the draw, I could just play king h3 and there's not really anything he can do. Like, you know, he's the one getting in trouble if he plays for the win. The final line for the game was not good. I mean, just because there were so many double blunders, like basically not seeing this tactic twice, you know, just ruins all the stats. So it says I had 2 inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, 6 blunders, 106 average Cinnapon loss, 61% accuracy. He had 4 inaccuracies, 1 mistake, 5 blunders, 83 Cinnapon loss, 65 accuracy. So yeah, it was pretty bad. But mainly because of this double blunder, and because of the blunders at the end of the game. Like, this is also a double blunder, so that kind of ruins everything. King h3, king g8. You mean king g3? If I'd found that. That was also findable in this position. What do we do if he... Oh, well, he can't because my queen's here. Never mind. Yeah, no, I think it wasn't such a bad game. It wasn't too bad. He got me, you know, what can you do? All right. Let's see who we can raid. Let's see. Probably Potato Head. That seems fair. Let's see. How do I raid people again? Japanese tutor loves my beard. He's got a better beard than me. So we'll raid JT sometime soon. He has fond memories of Vegas. Vegas was fun. I have fond memories of Vegas. I've got some drunk pictures with JT. That's good. But yeah, we'll raid JT next time. I haven't really gotten to raid him in a while, come to think of it. I don't know what you're alluding to, Vindictive, but your intel might be slightly out of date. If you're alluding to what I think you're alluding to. But I don't know if you are. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for all the raids. We got a raid from It's Ben and Karen, from Velcro Dot, and from what's his name? I remember it. Lafong. Wow. And thanks Super Bry for the sub, and Fleo for the sub. And remember to go follow my YouTube channel. Hooray, YouTube. I'm at 407 followers on YouTube, but I need to get to 500. So, okay, see you guys next time. Bye.